This one didn't start with a press conference. It didn't come from Dana White, and it definitely didn't come from an official fight announcement. It came from a moment that wasn't even supposed to be public, because Ilia Topuria's mother just revealed something that completely changes how people are looking at the situation between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev. And the way she said it, it didn't sound like speculation. It sounded like she already knew the fight was happening. According to her, everything was already in motion. Not rumors, not talks, but something real enough that she was literally about to post it publicly. Think about that for a second. You don't post something like that unless you're sure. You don't go online and announce a fight between two of the biggest names in the sport unless it's basically done. But then, right before that moment, everything changed. I was just about to post that Ilia is fighting Islam, but then we were told that Islam is injured and the fight is off. Now they're saying Ilia asked for too much money. Oh my God, Ali, OMG, Islam. That right there is where this whole story shifts. Because up until now, the narrative floating around has been completely different. There were talks that the fight didn't happen because of money, that Ilia Topuria was asking for too much, that negotiations broke down. But what she's saying paints a completely different picture. She's saying the fight was already set, and then Islam Makhachev got injured. And if that's true, then this isn't about money falling apart. This is about timing. Now here's where it gets interesting, because in situations like this, there are always two sides. From Islam Makhachev's side, there have been claims that the fight was offered and accepted, but things didn't move forward the way people expected. The focus shifted, and suddenly the narrative became about financial demands. But now, hearing this from someone that close to Ilia, it introduces a completely different version of events. And it actually explains why there's been so much confusion around this fight. Because if the injury happened at the last moment, that would explain why everything went quiet so fast. No announcement, no build-up, just silence. And in the fight game, silence usually means something changed behind the scenes. What makes this even more interesting is the timing of it all. Ilia Topuria has been pushing hard for massive fights. He's coming off momentum, confidence, and a position where he wants the biggest names possible. And Islam Makhachev, he's at the top of the sport right now, champion, dominant, and in a position where every fight has to make sense. So a clash between those two wasn't just hype, it actually made sense, which is why hearing that it was that close to happening changes everything. Because now fans aren't just asking if the fight will happen. They're asking how close we really were, and more importantly, what actually stopped it. Was it really money? Was it timing? Or was it simply bad luck with an injury at the worst possible moment? That's the part nobody fully agrees on yet. But one thing is clear, this wasn't just a random rumor. This was something real enough that someone inside that circle was ready to hit post and tell the world. And that's what makes this situation different. Because now the story isn't just about negotiations anymore. It's about a fight that might have already been locked in and slipped away at the last second. And if that's the case, then the biggest question becomes simple. What happens next? Because if Islam recovers, and if Ilia is still pushing for that fight, then this isn't over. Not even close. In fact, this might just be the beginning of something even bigger. Because now there's tension, two different narratives, and a fight that feels like it already happened, without ever being announced. And in this sport, those are the ones that usually come back stronger. So don't be surprised if this story circles back. Because if what we're hearing is true, then Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev wasn't just an idea. It was real, and it might still be.